right, so welcome. This is my wardrobe change. This is recorded for those of you who are watching remotely. So any of the satellite offices, we wanted to make sure that you're able to see me, and sometimes when we're doing the overhead in Columbus, it makes it a little bit difficult. So last time we did office yoga, we were seated a lot of the time, and I really feel like a lot of you are probably seated most of the day. So I do want to get everybody up and out of their seats if you can. I know yoga can be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, especially if you're doing it with your coworkers, but I wanted to give you a list of just a couple exercises, less than 10 that you can do at home. Some of them, especially the latter part of this, exercises today, you'll even be able to do at the office to relieve stress and tension that can be built throughout the day, or tension and, even sometimes you don't sleep correctly. So anyway, go ahead and stand up, get out of your seats. Depending on how much room you have, just be careful with your neighbor. We are going to be stretching our arms either out to the sides or even straight in front, depending on how much room that you have. So you're just going to stand straight up tall. We will be using an office chair here toward the end of this little video. All right, so before right now, I just want you to stand. Just go ahead and take your feet so they're hip distance apart. And you're just standing up nice and tall, and you're going to just close your eyes for a moment. Let your arms, you can even shake your arms so your coworkers don't even know what you're doing. You're just shaking your arms. Just noticing, how your body feels. Today, right now, standing on your 2 feet. Little bend in the knees, so try not to lock out your knees. And then bring that kind of jiggling into one still body. So you're just going to stand. Even with the eyes closed, just notice, how does it feel to move forward and back on the feet, from the toes to the heels. And doing that just once or twice, maybe 3, even 4 times. And then find an even weight on both feet. Just stand up nice and tall. Try to draw your belly in. Go ahead and take a hand to the belly and then even another one to the heart. You're going to pull the hand that's on the belly. You want to draw that in toward the body. And the one that's on the heart, try to lift your heart and your chest up. And then go ahead and release your hands by your sides. You can keep your eyes closed or you can open them up. It's up to you. But from here, we're just going to start to move and breathe at the same time. So you're going to link your movements with breath. So in your next inhale, I really want you to shrug your shoulders all the way up towards your ears. And take a 2 or 3 breaths there and just notice, how does this affect my breathing? Do I feel tense? Most of the time, this position does not feel very great. And then exhale, just release and let the shoulders come away from the ears. And then again, inhale, squeeze the shoulders toward the ears. And then exhale, go ahead and release and let them down. We'll do that one more big time like that. So inhale, reach the shoulders toward the ears. And then big exhale, go ahead and relax the shoulders down your back. So with the breathing here, you can be breathing in and out through your nose, which is kind of a yoga breath, or you can be breathing in and out through your mouth. So when you're breathing in and out through your nose, it helps to relax your parasympathetic nervous system, as opposed to breathing in and out through your mouth, which can even have a stressful response. If you're stuffed up, obviously breathe in and out through your mouth, but maybe experiment with the next series of exercises to see if you can breathe just in and out through the nose. So one more time here, inhale through the nose if you can, and then exhale, release the shoulders so your shoulder blades coming toward each other and then down toward your waist. And now try to keep the shoulders away from your ears, and you're going to use your hands to stretch your arms either straight out in front of you or out toward the sides, depending on how much room you have. Inhale, reaching the arms out without creeping the shoulders toward the ears. So your shoulders are going to stay relaxed, your arms are going to come up above your head. And then you're just simply going to exhale, release your arms down by your sides. And then repeat. Inhale, reaching up. Just notice, sometimes your shoulders, your body wants to move all together. So when we're doing these stretches, we're really working on moving your limbs away from your torso so we get some length. Okay, we'll do that 2 more times. Again, using your breath. So you're going to inhale, reach your arms up toward the ceiling, relax your shoulders. You can even look up toward your hands. And then exhale, take your hands down by your sides. Okay, one more time, just like that. Inhale, reach your arms up. Try to get as big as you can today. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, release. arms down by your sides and pause. So just notice, some of you, if your shoulders are tight, it might even hurt. If your lat muscles, the sides of the body are tight, it might be hard to reach your arms above your head. All right, so I'm just going to turn to the side here so you guys can stay straight forward. Obviously, we're just going to add on to that. So we're going to inhale, reach both arms up toward the ceiling. So you're going to reach, reach, reach. And as you exhale, I want you to bend your knees a little bit, and you can have your hands straight forward or out to the sides by your hips. And then you're going to exhale, bend your knees. You can support yourself with your hands on your thighs, especially if you have lower back issues. And you're going to bend your knees so your fingertips can touch the floor. So your fingertips touch the floor, your knees are bent, and you're going to keep your knees bent and try to make a connection with your chest and your torso on your thighs and drop your head down. So this is called standing child's pose. It's a really great pose for energy. It's a really great pose to just let all the blood flow go to your head as opposed to, we're turning around. It's an inversion. It's going to turn the blood flow around. As your head hangs low, make sure to breathe. Try not to hold your breath. And anytime if you feel lightheaded or dizzy, you should come up and, being aware, if you have high blood pressure, you don't want to stay in this position too long. We're only going to be here for less than a minute today, so you should be okay. But as you're down here, go ahead and shake your head yes. Shake your head no. You might even feel this on your hamstrings. Now some of you, if your hamstrings are tight, keep your knees bent. And if you can start to extend your legs straight. Only for some of you, that might be an option. Straightening the legs, just stretching the back of the legs. Otherwise, the head just hangs down low. But just 2 more deep breaths. So notice your breathing. Just let your arms dangle to the floor. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to, even if it's a lot, to touch the floor. Good. Now, everybody, bend your knees. If your knees are bent or straight, go ahead and bend them. And then from here, you're just going to round. So from one vertebrae at a time, you're going to keep your head down, and you're going to push through your heels, and you're going to round your spine. So you're going to come all the way up, just gently coming up. Let your head be the last thing to come up, so your chest and your chin touch. And then you're going to do that same thing. Shrug your shoulders way up toward your ears, and then draw them down your back. So you might feel this. And as you come up slowly, be careful, you might feel a little head rush there. So we're going to practice that again. So you're going to inhale, reach your arms out to the side. You're going to reach, reach, reach up toward the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward. You're going to come all the way down toward the floor with your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need to. You're going to drop down. This is called a half sun salutation. So it's using your breath. Now this time you're going to inhale. You're going to look up. You're going to maybe walk your hands to your shins, even to your knees, and I want you to try to flatten your back as you look up. And then exhale, just fold forward, come down. Now if you're hip distance apart, you can have them wider if you need to make room for your belly, or you can have your feet together if you want to practice on balance. Okay, try that again. Inhale, lengthen, look up. You can take your hand to your shins, your knees, your thighs. Get your spine nice and straight, really good for the back, and then exhale, forward fold. And one more time, just like that. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Take the heart and the chest up. And then exhale, fold forward, come down. Good. Now we're going to practice that rounding through the spine again. So you're going to bend your knees, little round through the spine. And then one vertebrae at a time, you're going to come up to stand. So really, really slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Come all the way up. Shoulders come toward your ears. Chin stays toward your chest. And let your shoulders melt away from the ears as you reach the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. And then just stand up nice and tall and just notice how the body feels. So if it's different than even when we started class, we're going to add on there. So we're going to repeat that. So again, inhale, sweep your arms up toward the ceiling, reach and extend. And then bend your knees. You're going to hinge at your waist, come into a forward fold. So you're going to bend your knees. Your hands are going to come down to the ground. You're going to drop your head if it feels okay. And then you're going to inhale, lengthen, look up. So your hands can be on the floor, and you're going to bend your knees. And then you're going to bend your right knee, pour the weight into your right foot, and you're going to step your left foot and try to step it back behind you. So we're coming into a lunge position. That right knee is going to be right on top of your right ankle. Your hands can stay on the floor and you're just pushing your left leg as straight as you can get it. So you're going to feel a stretch in the hip flexor muscle. This hip flexor muscle is where it can be really tight if you're seated a lot through the day, and then it can pull on your lower back. So as you push away with your left heel, you should feel a stretch. You can always come onto that knee, that back knee if it's too much, especially if you're at home. And if you don't really want to be touching the floor too much, if you're at the office there. Good. So sometimes when I come on my knee, I feel more of a stretch. You want to just make sure you're not right on top of the kneecap. You want to be shifting your hips forward. Go take your hands back to the floor. If your hands are off the floor, tuck your back toes under. Look forward, push the weight into your right foot, and gently step forward to the top of that left foot to meet your right foot. And then inhale, we'll try to lengthen again. Look up. Try to take your hands to your shins. And then exhale, go ahead and fold forward, come back down. Now we're just going to switch your sides. So your left foot stays on the floor. You're going to take a big step back with your right foot this time. So right foot steps back. Again, that left knee's on top of your left ankle, and then push your right heel far, far away from you. And keep lifting your chest away from the ground. You can always come onto the back knee. Some of you might even take your hand, if you're on your back knee, you can take your hands up to your thigh. If you really want to juice up the pose, you can keep that back leg straight. Really good to stretch there for even runners, if you're walking, seated. Go take your hands back to the mat. You're going to step forward to your right foot, meet your left foot. Good. Inhale, just look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Good. From here, bend your knees so your chest and thighs touch. Little bend, again, round. One vertebrae at a time to come all the way up to standing, all the way up, shoulders. And finally, the crown of the head lifts. So some of you might already feel your heart rate beating. You know, if you're breathing and you're moving and it's something new, that could be a lot. So just be aware of that. And we wanted to warm up the body before we start to do some static stretching. We're going to hold some things. But first thing I want to do, before we get to that, I want to practice tree pose. So balancing poses are really great. So as you get older, we age, you know, if you fall, you really want to be able to protect yourself. And then they also help clear the mind because you have to be really focused in these balancing poses. So you're going to move into your right foot. So you're going to make your right leg really straight. And you're going to take your left foot. Let's see if I can back up a little bit so you can see me here. Your left foot, your toes can be touching the floor and the heel can touch the leg. You can stay right there. Or you can go ahead and take the foot on the inside of your calf muscle and see how that balance feels. Or you can even work that foot all the way up onto your inner right thigh. You want to avoid pushing it on the knee because the knee doesn't like to move that direction. So you really want to either have the leg all the way up on the calf or even on the floor depending on your balance. So find your balance. You want to find a spot that's not moving in front of you. Try not to laugh at your neighbor if they're falling and just focus on yourself. Okay. Practicing the balance is so important. You can take your hands together. Some of you, if you want more of a challenge, take your arms above your head. If you're feeling like a rock star here, you can even close your eyes. You know, close your eyes, even look up toward the ceiling if you're feeling really great with your balance. Good. This is something to practice. If you're falling, go ahead and smile about it and keep practicing because that's the whole point. That's why we're doing it. Okay, release your left foot. We'll switch your sides. So one side you might find is completely different than the other. Hopefully this is your better side. So you're going to ground down through your left foot now and then start. You know, start at the most basic and see how that feels. Then start, you know, maybe move your foot up to your inner calf muscle there and pause. Okay, take a couple breaths there and then notice, all right, now go ahead and maybe move the foot up if it's, you know, if that's an option. If you have pants on, even shoes on, you know, it might be hard for that foot to stick up there. So my foot I know right now is slipping down, so we're going to pause it. And again, not on the inner knee, but right there on the calf muscle. You can take your hands together, or you can stretch both arms up toward the ceiling. You know, reach, try to relax your shoulders again. You You can take your gaze toward the sky, close your eyes, you know, smile, wave like a tree, hence the name. Okay, relax that foot down on the floor. Okay, very nice. Good, so a couple more things standing. So what we're going to do here is I want you to stretch your arms out toward the side, so just look at your neighbor and try to stagger just a little bit. Take your feet, you know, at least hip distance apart. You want to relax your shoulders down. So this is really good for your shoulders and your upper back, what we're going to do, and neck tension. So you're going to stretch your arms out toward the sides. I want you to take your belly button toward the back of your body, so toward your spine, so you really kind of suck in, like someone's taking your picture. So keep that, but still stand up really tall. And then I want you to exhale. You're going to twist toward the right. So I'm going to be opposite of you. You're twisting toward the right, and your arms are staying out like wings, and you're going to keep twisting, but you want to keep your left hip back. So you want to twist toward your waist, and you're taking your arms out. So if you find you have a lot of tension in your shoulders or your neck, this is a really good pose to start to retrain when you're twisting and turning, that you're not only looking at people with your neck moving, it's your whole torso. So see if you can breathe a little bit more. Try to twist a little bit more. You might feel the back of your right shoulder working. Okay, come back down the middle. Whew. And then twist to the other side. So now you're twisting toward the left. That right hip stays back, so your hips are square toward the front, but you're twisting, your belly button's coming toward your spine, you're extending your arms out, you're reaching, and then don't forget to breathe. It's really, really important. So if you're not breathing, the oxygen's not getting to your muscles. Go just one more breath, twist a little deeper. Good, inhale, come back down. And then exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Woo. Okay. Two more things while you're standing. So you're going to inhale. You're going to open up your chest and your heart. So you're going to really squeeze almost your elbows. We're going to come, try them to touch the back of your body. And then your exhale, you're going to big, deep, deep round. Try to hug a big beach ball around your back. And then inhale, get really big, open, open, open. Exhale, big round, round. Round. Inhale, open up, big. And then exhale, big, round. Even bigger beach ball. Inhale, go ahead and open, expand through the heart and the chest. And then exhale again, big, round. So you're stretching. Oh, and then go ahead and release. So when you're seated at a desk, you know, your hip flexors, the front of the hips get tight. This attaches and it wraps around to the lower back. So with the health challenge that we were talking about, the lower back can get tight if these muscles are tight. So we just stretch those out, and then the shoulders and the chest get tight and hunched from typing on the computer. So now we just open that up. All right, so go ahead and grab your chair. The chair is far away from you. Go ahead and grab your chair there and take a seat. All right. So when you're taking a seat there, now what we're going to do is we're going to stretch your hips. So using your seat, so you can be nice and grounded there. Your feet are flat on the floor. What I want you to do is find your right leg. You're going to reach behind for the back of your right leg and pull that right knee in toward your chest. Resist leaning way, way back. So you want to come forward again. You can keep your hands on the back of the thigh, or you can reach around for your calf muscle. I want you to pull that knee, twist to the side here, in toward your body. So to pull it in. Now take your toes of your foot, flex your toes up toward your knee. Okay? You can reach around. Some of you might be able to grab your toes, some of you might not. Some of you might be here or here, and that's great. So from that position, I want you to take your foot, I want you to cross your ankle over your knee. So your knee's going to come out to the side, but your toes are still flexed toward the knee. So this is going to start to stretch your hip. Now you can actually sit when you're working with your knee out toward the side. So your toes are flexed toward your knee, and you can stay seated really tall. If you feel like you need more of a stretch in your hip, you can sit forward just a little bit. And you should feel it in your hip, and if you feel it in your knee, you need to sit back up. If your knee is really far away up high toward your shoulder, just breathe into it. You can even take your hand on your inner thigh and you can push your knee into your hand. So go ahead and everybody try that. Push your knee into your hand, you'll feel your inner thigh activate. And then exhale, release. Lets the muscle release. Okay, again, push your knee into your thigh. And then exhale, release, let it down. And just not really pushing it, but just let it release. And again, hand on the inner thigh versus the knee. So you want to push, on the big muscles, lifting your knee toward your hand. And then exhale, release. Good, now sit forward just a little bit. Good, and then exhale, go ahead and release. Go ahead and plant your foot on the floor and then we'll switch your sides. So pulling your foot, first let's start. Go ahead and hug. The hands are going to be behind the thigh. Our hand's going to wrap around to the shin. Pulling in. Pull the toes, flex them up toward your knee, and then squeeze wherever you are. Squeeze. Now, keeping the knee bent, the toes flexed toward the knee. Go ahead and cross your ankle over your knee. Good, sitting up tall, breathing. Now, your hand can come on the inner thigh, and then try to push your inner thigh toward your hand. Resist it. And then exhale, release it. Okay, try again, push. Oh, breathe. Okay, exhale, release it. And then one last time, push it. And finally, release. And then from there, you're going to lean forward just a little bit, if it's okay, on the hip. So this is such a good one to stretch the hip. Seated hip stretch. Okay. And then you're going to come out of it. Go ahead and have both feet relax the foot on the floor. Both feet are going to flatten on the floor. One last little thing for your neck and your wrists. You're going to take your wrists together. We'll start here. Now this one, you're going to fan the pinky fingers out. And then you're going to push the backs of the hands together. The elbows will come out to the sides. And then you're going to come up. The pinky fingers will be together. Thumbs will be out. Then you push them together. And you're just going to repeat. So just a little bit of pressure there. It can be a little tricky. But good for the wrists. Down and around, and then reverse it. It's like patting your head and your belly. So you're going to reverse. It's kind of can be tricky. Back and forth about 5-10 times each way. Okay? Just stretching the wrists. Relaxing hands down. Last little thing here, reach both arms up toward the ceiling. So you're going to reach, you're going to sit up nice and tall. And then you're going to take your left hand, bring it back to your thigh. You're going to drop your ear toward the right and take your right hand and just gently guide your right hand on the outside of your left, on the head, the left side of your head. And go ahead and let your ear drop down. You can close the eyes if you want and breathe again through it. If you can breathe in and out through the nose, great. Your chin will come toward your chest. Or even reach up toward the ceiling. You want to just find that point of resistance there on the side of the neck. Okay, now use your right hand, help your head upright, and then simply switch your sides. So both arms can come first up toward the ceiling, reach, so we enter it the same way. And then release your right hand to your right thigh. Drop your left ear toward the side. Go ahead and take your left hand to grab the right side of your head. And again, no tugging, just relax it down. And close the eyes if you want. Chin can come toward the chest or reach it up toward the ceiling. Again, just search for that spot and then try to breathe a couple breaths there. Good, and then go ahead and use your left hand. You can use your left hand to help your head back up. And there you go. Take both hands to your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. And take 5 deep breaths. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale through the nose. Repeat inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. exhale. And last one, bigger inhale. Try to fill your whole lungs up with air, inhale. And then finally, big exhale. Go ahead and gently open your eyes. So thank you. There we go. So little routine, there will be a handout on this as well. And then we're going to come back together, reconvene, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. So we'll see you in a moment. I have to go change my clothes real quick, and we'll see you right back in a moment.